stop her from providing hope, confidence, and opportunity to 45,000 students. Over the last 5 years, under Lori's leadership, the foundation has expanded its reach by nearly 2,000%. Her love, her stories, her passion for our students has inspired many people to see the world through our kids' eyes. Lori's new role with the Edmond Public Schools Foundation, I almost said our name, will allow her to continue to support kids while also being there for her own family. But today, she and Mike are here to rise up for Oklahoma City's kids. Please join me in saying thank you to Lori Dickinson. Didn't expect to be in Oklahoma. As a kid, I was one of those Oklahoma kids who thought that everything that was good was somewhere else, that it wasn't in our state. I couldn't wait to get out of the state that I was born and raised in. I didn't think that Oklahoma held anything promising for me. I was on the fast track to get out of here when a month before my college graduation, the Murrah building was destroyed. Like most Oklahomans, that was a defining moment for me. I realized that I didn't need to go to another state or another continent to make a difference. I belonged right here. I could work side by side with my fellow Oklahomans, and I could show the world what Oklahomans are made of. Now, almost 20 years later, I nearly burst with pride every single time that Oklahoma City lands on yet another of the best of lists. 4th for economic strength. 7th on the best places for young adults. That's certainly not lost on me, since I was one of those young adults who didn't think this held anything for me. 2nd best city for small businesses. Who would have ever thought that we would have the river and the Devon Tower and an NBA team and so many new restaurants and festivals and activities that my family and I can't even decide what to do most weekends because there's so many choices. As Oklahomans, we set a goal and we do it. We don't shy away because it's hard. We do it because it needs to be done. And yet, none of the progress that I have been so proud to be a part of will continue without a public education system that makes its best effort to support every single child. We won't stay at the top of any of our best of lists when our students are firmly at the bottom. You see, school is where our city builds a relationship with our kids. School is where and how we tell our students how much we love them, how much we hope for them, how much we dream for them, what it is that we want for them. And here's what I know about relationships. They only work when you tend to them. Every single day, you have to make an intentional investment, whether it's large or small. And if you let time get away from you, that relationship erodes. A lot of people in this room know firsthand that our city and its people have made significant investments in our schools. Our kids have benefited from those investments, but it's a mistake to believe that we will reap the benefits in perpetuity. Let's face it, it's human nature to think that a bond or a new school board chairman or a new superintendent will fix what's broken. And it's easy to decide who or what the problem fixer is going to be and to turn back to our daily lives. I look around the city and what I see is that our leaders and our people, we keep dreaming, we keep hoping, and here's the critical part, we keep investing. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about time and I'm talking about energy. Our city just keeps on turning hopes and dreams into reality. We keep believing that our future is better than our past, and we just keep pushing forward. And yet, I think it's fair to say that we haven't yet hoped for or worked towards a better public school system with the same zeal, tenacity, and consistency than we have for a better downtown, better sidewalks, and better neighborhoods. I hope, I believe, that in 20 years, when we look back on those defining moments that we will say, Oklahoma City was on the right track, but where we really got it right, when things really started to go our way, was when we embraced every single child. Nowhere in Oklahoma City is there as much hope and potential as there is in our schools. By supporting the foundation, you can say, we believe you are more than you are today, and even if you can't see it right now, we can. Together we can push forward, we can shine the light, we can claim that vision for our city and for our children.
Thank you. Started going in my pockets. I'm pleased to introduce to you today one of our school district's finest educators. Felix Linden teaches creative writing and, with the help of another educator in Oklahoma City, founded the Leadership Academy at Roosevelt Middle School in South Oklahoma City. Felix is a proud graduate of Star Spencer High School in Oklahoma City, but he's even the prouder parent of 3 children in the Oklahoma City Public Schools. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Felix Linden.
Thank you. How are y'all doing today? I said, how are y'all doing today? All right. Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Pink. I would have worn my orange. I just go Pokes always. I apologize. Yes, sir. Before we begin, I want to thank everybody here for the opportunity to come and talk to you today during this special time, this occasion. I want to thank the Foundation of Oklahoma City Public Schools for giving me the opportunity to come address you guys today. And I also want to, at this time, thank Ms. Lauren Kanabi, the teacher that was mentioned with, go ahead, stand up, girl. We doing great things down at Roosevelt Middle School. On November 23rd, 2013, marked the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And in class, we read articles and watched news footage so the students could gain a sense of perspective of the time. Neither myself nor my students were even alive when it happened, but we talked about how we could possibly be affected by his death even today. Our conversation turned to the fact that during the 60s, there were many high-profile deaths that were carried out through the use of a firearm. Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., and Robert F. Kennedy, all dead, all shot. This prompted me to ask the following set of questions to my students. How many of you have handguns in your home? How many of you have ever held a firearm? How many of you have shot a gun? One of my classes of 24 students had approximately 12 students who had guns in the home, and of that 12, 6 had held a gun, and another 4 had shot one. I have written down the numbers as I asked each question, and once this series of questions was completed, I went to the other side of the room and asked another relevant yet serious series of questions. To the same group of 24 students, I asked how many of their parents had been to college. Of this group of 24 students, 3 had parents who had attended college. And of those 3 students, none had finished with a degree. I paused for a second and asked the students what they noticed about the numbers. We sat there in silence until one student spoke up and said that there were more kids who knew about guns than had known about college. Now let's think about that for just a second. More of our Oklahoma City students know about guns than they know about college. It's also safe to conclude that they don't know much about getting out of poverty either. I would be willing to bet that the vast majority of you here today have at least one college degree and are professionals in their respective field of work. You have been blessed with different gifts and opportunities. Our students are gifted, but they are lacking the opportunity. In addition to the opportunity, they are lacking access to successful people in our community. You have the ability to address both needs. When you donate, you not only show your support financially, to the district, but it is truly felt in the classroom. My students and I have experienced this firsthand through the creation of the Roosevelt Leadership Academy. The Roosevelt Leadership Academy is an after-school enrichment program designed to instill the traits and skills necessary for their success after high school. The Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools was the first entity to get behind us through a granting of a Great Idea Grant. This was the seed money used to help us reach our goal of over $40,000, which was used to take a group of 26 students to DC over spring break. This trip opened the eyes of every student in the program and has lit the spark that will lead to many of our students making the leap and hopefully achieving their full potential. We are only able to do what we did through your generous support. Our imagination goes as far as your donation. And trust me, I have some big ideas for Roosevelt Middle School. Now, what makes the Roosevelt Leadership Academy different and unique is not only the ask for your money, but the ask for your presence and time. Everyone we approached for a donation, we also asked for them to come and speak with our kids. Because of this, our students were able to interact with Congressman James Langford, representatives from the Kirkpatrick Foundation, Michael Carnuccio with the Oklahoma Council on Public Affairs, Oklahoma City Councilwoman Meg Salyer, Oklahoma City Mayor Mick Cornett, and State Senators Al McCaffrey and David Holt. I ask you today, when you give your money, also consider giving your time as well. Your presence in the classroom with our kids compounds your donation, and it further ties you to our community. It also helps you see what I get the chance to experience firsthand every day, and that are the greatest students in Oklahoma City. You help to change the perception they have of themselves when you show and share yourself with them. As a product of Oklahoma City Public Schools, I know from experience how powerful the presence or lack of successful people in the classroom can be. John F. Kennedy, before his untimely death, stated, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Today, let's rephrase that. Don't ask what these students can do for you. What can you do for our students?
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years ago, Dylan Williams stood on this very stage as a senior at Northwest Classen High School. Since that time, he has joined the U.S. Navy, where he's learning to work on nuclear reactor-powered submarines. Let me say that again, nuclear-powered submarines. As he takes the stage, and I ask him to come to the stage right now, please enjoy this glimpse at Dylan when we first met him 2 years ago. Take a look at the screen.
A lot of times, we're told no, that we can't do stuff. If Oklahoma City would rise up and say, you know what, you guys, you can do this, and we will help. We can show you that I can do college. You know, I can go out and get a job. I can do stuff that everybody said I couldn't do. And I went from slumping through the first 9 years of school to being on a statewide radio show in 3 years. And that's because these adults in the Oklahoma City Foundation would give us money and support and guidance and tell us, you know, hey, you're doing a good job. Everybody talks about, hey, I want to impact my community. I want to do something great for the world. It's not that difficult to do.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Scott Bowman and Dan Zimmer. That was a fantastic show. He looks splendid. Unbelievable. This is still awesome. Still awesome. It will forever be awesome. We have to come speak to the same group of people who gave me the initial chance to succeed. Thank you again. I've not built too much of the world for the Navy SEALs who have lost a very firm belief in windows concerning buildings and submarines. I enlisted not long before I spoke here, having sworn to service February 22nd, 2012, and part of what I once called home the Great Lakes to attend boot camp. After boot camp, I got stationed to Charleston, South Carolina, to learn how to be a nuclear reactor operator. In 6 months of fire school, where we learn all the theory behind reactors. I've almost got a 4-year college degree. That sucks just as much. In that time, I've learned so much, it's stunned me honest. The world we live in is a technological marvel, brimming with discoveries advanced a couple centuries ago would be called witchcraft. There's so many bright, shiny things that people behind the scenes, all of you, don't get their proper recognition and their chance to shine brightly above everything else. People like you that spark the childlike curiosity and interest and temper with adults' determination to succeed. It's not only that newer generations have given up hope. The general population of adults in my generation have seemingly been unable to acknowledge that we're not growing into your shoes, and that we're also growing in a world that is still adapting to itself. The world is ever changing, and we're growing up in a world that's not sure of itself. Our self-confidence to succeed is parallel to that sureness in the world. Our robotics team wasn't sure of itself our first year, but our whirlwind of support helped us get 7th out of 52nd. We played soccer. We walked in as Northwest class and high school students, having that tag to our names, that disbelief in us to succeed. We proved everybody wrong. Our 3rd year was very good times, great times. We were almost arrogant. We were really arrogant. Because we have the world of support from not just the parents and teachers, but from the people at the foundation that looked at us and said, you know, you talk a good enough game, we'll see what you can do. They gave us $18,000. Sounds like a lot of money. For robotics, it's a pitiful amount. We stretched every single penny to the breaking point. And we got 3rd out of 57th as Northwest class. As one who's benefited from the support as a high school student, now stands before you months away from being qualified on nuclear reactor submarines for the United States Navy. I speak not just from experience, but also the heart. In my year of service, running the cloth of our nation, I've had many grateful people approach me and thank me for what I do for my country. Little did they know all my thanks to you for being mentors and guides in my young life. Thank you.
Dylan, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you will indulge me one more time because having a graduate sitting in front of us who has not only graduated from our high school right here in Oklahoma City, but is now serving in the U.S. Navy, serving you and me for what our lives are today. Please help me one more time in thanking Dylan. Well, in the short history of our event, one of the highlights has always been the showing and the debut of the Foundation's annual mission video. We want to take some time to show you that right now. Please turn your attention to the video screens for this year's video.
I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a voice. You may not hear it every day.
With everything going on, it's hard to hear it sometimes.
But my voice matters. But my voice matters. But my voice matters.
But my voice matters.
Every morning I come to this place.
I'm looking for education.
I am looking for education.
For growth.
For hope.
For a place to belong.
For love.
Sometimes I find it.
Sometimes I don't.
You may not know my folks in here.
Perhaps.
I'm the future of our city.
My school matters because I matter.
Don't you agree?
I have a voice.
And a name. And a story.
These kids deserve the best from the district. These kids come every day hungry with the desire to way to turn around a school that in some cases is viewed as not a good school, because people outside of our school don't expect much from our students. These kids need to be exposed to opportunities to change their life, and that they do have a voice in the process. If they don't think that they have a say, then they won't use their voice.
So I decided to run for elections. Anybody run for election here in schools? Have you run for any offices?
I don't think we have a solid Oklahoma City if we don't have a solid urban school district. It's incredibly important. The kids are our future. And if we don't wrap our arms around them and make sure that what we offer in the Oklahoma City Public School District is the best of the best, then we're failing our kids, we're failing Oklahoma City, and we're failing our future. Felix Linden's leadership group are just amazing. Senator David Holt and I were both there to talk about municipal government and state government.
This is the only leadership academy of its kind that's going on in Oklahoma City Public Schools. And I think the foundation recognized that when they granted us the Great Idea Grant.
We know they wouldn't be able to do some of these things if the foundation couldn't help bridge the funding gap.
That's helped us fund our trip that we're taking to D.C. Some of the money's going towards that. These kids are going to go meet with Congressman Langford. They're going to meet with other representatives about the issues that are affecting them as students.
When I'm on stage or when I'm practicing, I like disconnect from out there. It's my moment to myself, where I can be myself. And when I'm dancing, I feel perfect.
My name is Luis Valadez. I study at Capitol Hill High School, and I'm a dancer.
I think that dance provides a gateway and a whole nother world for some of these kids. I think that they just need a guide. And of course that takes a lot of self-drive, like beliefs. But those kids that show that, I think if they're given the opportunity, they will take it. And that they do need to rise up and take that opportunity.
You can do what you want with your life. You can achieve what you want. If I can make it, you can make it. Anyone can make it. It doesn't matter what school you go to or you live. Like, I'm going to be a professional dancer. I'm going to do that. I want to do that, so I'm going to make it.
Without the foundation, I really don't know how our students would really have even a chance to dream as big as they dream.
When I think about rising up, we all stand up together. The foundation, they understand to invest a small amount of money right now for some students that can then turn around later on in their life, use that experience to become successful members and participants in society. That's immeasurable.
The hopes for our kids are the same hopes that I have for my own children, you know, for them to be able to do anything, you know, be anybody that they want to be, you know, be allowed to try and to see what doing something that you love feels like.
We want to give our kids a fighting chance. We want to fill the gap and meet those needs, and that's what the foundation is all about. You know, it's about focusing not just money, but attention, and letting them know that, hey, you are somebody, you can be somebody.
I have a pretty harsh theory that we don't actually love kids in Oklahoma City. I think we love our kids. I think we love those in proximity to our kids. But the challenge has been to convince people to love all kids in Oklahoma City, whether they're the ones that go to your school or to your church or not, whether they're the ones that look like you or run in the same circles that your children do or not. So the challenge has been to build these relationships that show real love to kids. I believe that we as a society in general have been willing to allow the inner city to produce, at best, a blue-collar workforce. We wouldn't want our kids to do that. We want our kids to be people. We want them to be really good at it. So if we could begin really thinking about this as if each one of these kids were our children, we envision this completely differently.
If our kids will just get a little bit of that person standing with them, saying, I believe in you, you can do better, I expect more from you, they're going to do it. I mean, they're going to reach up and they're going to meet their goals. They're going to shoot for the stars and land in a good place. So I mean, I believe that the foundation is just so crucial and so important in providing that support for administration, teachers, and children alike.
I see our most valuable resource in Oklahoma is not natural gas, right? It's our children.
foundation cares for every child.
In every school.
In every classroom.
In every hallway.
The foundation cares about me.
And me.
And me. The foundation cares about me.
When you rise up for the foundation,
You rise up for every child.
You rise up for me.
I'm the future of our city.
When you get involved, it's not going to happen on its own.
If you don't rise up, who will?
It's not going to happen on its own.
What will our future look like?
When you rise up,
Oklahoma City. Because you rose up, all comes first.
Because you rose up, I'm not Oklahoma dreams it.
because you rose up, I'll be the mayor of this city.
Because you rose up, I'm going to be an executive for our team one day.
Because you rose up for me, I will grow up to be a brilliant scientist. Because you rose up and protected me, I'll protect you.
Because you rose up and believed in me, I will be a dancer and show others they can believe as well.
Raise up Oklahoma City.
What a powerful video, and what great points that you can learn from children, huh? I enjoyed the fact of what Felix said in that video, and I think it's very true. In education, one thing that we really are finding more and more about, and we knew it all along, but we always get reminded of this, and that is when we raise the expectations of our students, they rise to the occasion. You ask any educator in this district, in this city, in this country, and they will tell you when they have their students and when they are able to raise the expectation and when they are able to also say, and you can do it, it gives an empowerment to students that will encourage them, but you will see something in that is uncontrollable almost, because they will do all they can to reach it. You see it with people like Dylan Williams. You see it with the students that you saw today. What is interesting about that concept, ladies and gentlemen, is that I believe it also adheres to you and me as well. When we are challenged, and I think as we talked at our table a little while ago, it seems like in Oklahoma we have this little extra something that when we are challenged, we usually rise to the occasion, don't we? As Lisa talked about earlier back in the 90s when some madman bombed the Borough building, this community rose to that occasion. And when this community has been challenged with things that would say, you know, if you can do it, it will make you such a stronger city. Somehow or another, this community has always rose to the occasion, because I think we are just like our children, that when we are challenged, we rise to those occasions. So as you and I sit here, and as we take in and think about all that you've heard and seen and listened to today, it is a challenge that you and I have as well. How do you and I rise to this occasion of helping to meet the needs of the foundation, which in itself is helping meet the needs of a district right here in our own city? I appreciate what Chris Brewster said, because I think it is so true and so often, and it's one of those things I hate to even think about, but I think in some cases it's true, in some cases, where in many urban cities, so often we are very loving of children, as long as they are children that are in our general proximity. And we sometimes lose that love the further out those children are. I hate to think about that, but I look at myself and I think, Chris, I think you have a point there. What you and I have an opportunity to do today, though, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have an opportunity to, as the children said on the video, to rise up and to help our foundation with our efforts as we do our part. A small part, yet very significant part, in helping the kids of this district here in Oklahoma City. Right here in our foundation, I will tell you that as you have table captains, and those table captains right now, they have envelopes. If you guys would go ahead and pass the documents around, those table captains are passing those envelopes and those cards to you. And some of those cards talk about pledging. And I will tell you that we can use as many pledges as possible, but I'll also tell you that this fiscal year is not over yet. And anything you can do to help us out right now is greatly appreciated. We are still in that fundraising mode in terms of finishing out this year in a good way. So as you think about how you can assist with the work of this foundation, please think not only in terms of pledges and what that does for this foundation. I also encourage you to think about what a gift today or in the next few days, the next week or two would do for this foundation as well, because I can guarantee you it will be put to use to help in the efforts that you've heard about today. So as those table captains pass these documents around, please strongly consider, not just for yourself and what you can do, but also as you leave this place, what are some things that other people in your circle of influence can do as well? Because as you've seen today, it is for a good cause. I leave you with this story. 51 years ago last week, April 4th, in Washington, D.C., there was a man who led over 100,000 people on a march on Washington, D.C., and his march was very plain and simple. It was for civil rights in this country, because you see, at that time, 51 years ago in this country, civil rights was a hot-button issue, and it wasn't very positive, and it didn't look very good in our country. But this man, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 51 years ago last week, led thousands of people to Washington, D.C. because of the cause of civil rights. And as he stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and as he looked out onto the plaza among thousands of people, one of the first things that Dr. King said that day was this: after everything that has happened today, he said, after we have made this march, after we have come such a far distance, and as we have shown this country this issue in a way that has never been done before, he told the people, you can't go back tomorrow to business as usual. Think about that. Because if you read today, civil rights issue in this day and age, people call education. Education being our civil rights issue in 2014. I think that's interesting. So if education is the civil rights issue of our time, I ask you the same question that Dr. King asked. When you leave a place like this, when you have listened to people like Dylan Williams, when you have heard Felix, and when you have heard all of these people, and you have seen the video that you have watched, and you have enjoyed the music of our students, our children here in this district, I ask you the same question. Can you go back to business as usual? Or do you decide that your level of difference for this district becomes something much, much greater? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. The key to making this effort, the effort that we're all engaged in, to improve the Oklahoma City schools, the key to make it a success is to take it away from being an abstraction. Education is not an abstract word, but it's not an abstract problem. Children is an abstract concept, but the members of Pandemic are individuals that you've seen and you've heard today. And a boy that has an interest in robotics is a very concrete thing who we can help in a very concrete way through programs like the Foundation's Competitive Edge Grants. And the moment when a student from Oklahoma City goes to Washington, D.C. and meets their congressman and learns about their country, that is a concrete moment that can be made possible as a result of a great idea grant through the Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools. The most concrete, the greatest way to break through this the wall of abstraction to a concrete individual is one of these kids at your table, one of these pictures, who every year we have these at your tables, and we have them so you can take them home, take them to your place of work, put them on the shelf there. And when somebody comes by your office and they look at that, and they say, hey, is that your kid? It's really important that you answer truthfully. Yes, that's my kid. And what do we do for our kids? We do the best we can for them. We assure that they have an education second to none. And that is what we must do for the children of Oklahoma City public schools. We must rise up. We must reach in to our wallets, reach into our pockets, pull out a pen. Let's make a difference for the Oklahoma City public schools. Thank you all for coming today. It's been a wonderful luncheon. It's a beautiful spring day. Thank you very much.
Keep them in line. I'll try. Especially Holly. How are you? You're Midwest? Thank you.
I don't think excuse me.
These are kind of guys I hang around with.
You know, he's smart. I work with him. My wife was going through that. He had asked me. And she started to ask her. Now this guy down there. He thought he was. She thought he was. Then she said, "This is my husband, Kenny."
gonna walk out of here with a cookie. I don't know. I'll take one cookie. That's the best flavor. What is the best flavor? What do you recommend?
I kind of miss it. Black cookie.
Like chocolate sauce is pretty good. I'll try this one. Thanks, Don. See you later, buddy.